June's life, once filled with everything she could have ever wanted, took a dark turn when she made irremediable mistakes. She abandoned her biological children, Tyrell and Samantha, and spent years in loneliness and regret. However, her life spirals again when she decides to return to seek the love of the children she once abandoned. But instead of open arms, she is met with coldness from the very children she left behind. This is a tragic story, not just for June, but also for Tyrell and Samantha's current family. When Naomi, June's close friend, brings the heartbreaking news that Tyrell and Samantha no longer want to see her, June's heart feels as though it's being squeezed. She can't believe it, yet she cannot deny the truth. The two children she once loved have now chosen a life without her. Tyrell and Samantha, the children she once abandoned, have grown strong, not only in life but also in the love and care they received from their new family. They have Martin and Smitty, who have raised and loved them, creating a home that June cannot easily destroy. June cannot accept this rejection. She cannot accept being cast aside again, and in the darkness of despair, she begins to plan how to shatter the peace that Tyrell and Samantha now have. She knows that confronting them directly will not be easy, so she begins to infiltrate their minds, using psychological tricks to draw them back to her. June is not just looking for reconciliation, she wants to regain the power she lost. She wants her children to return to her and submit once more, just as she once thought they would when she came back. Samantha, unable to bear this intrusion, decides that something must be done. She not only wants to confront June but also to clarify everything once and for all. She meets her biological mother, but not for a gentle conversation. She has endured enough, and now, Samantha is no longer the weak little girl she once was. She takes a strong stance, demanding June leave the city. But what is the price for June to leave? Samantha is not hesitant to offer money for her to go, which is not just a material exchange but a firm commitment that her family's life will not be disrupted by the return of her birth mother. This decision is not easy for Samantha. Though she wants to protect her family and preserve the peace, the weight of guilt still presses on her. She has always dreamed of a perfect family, and while Martin and Smitty have done well in their roles as father and mother, deep in her heart, there has always been a void left by June. Is paying June to leave a way for Samantha to escape her guilt? Or is it simply a strategy to protect her family, the children she has raised since they were young? Tyrell, who has always faced the temptations of the past, also does not know what to do. He has never had a real mother. June, who abandoned him and Samantha, now returns like a ghost in their lives. Tyrell cannot deny that he still has love for his mother, but it is the love of a child who was not raised properly. He had once longed for a complete family, for a mother to care for and love him like other children. But now, looking at his current family, Tyrell begins to realize that a mother's love is not the only thing he needs. He has Martin and Smitty, who have always protected and cared for him. They are the family he has chosen. Yet, when June does everything she can to return and assert her power, Tyrell cannot avoid feelings of hesitation. He doesn't know what to do when faced with the mother he once yearned for, but now, the very people who raised him have become the ones he cannot forsake. Will he accept June's return, or will it be another decision that forces him to face the price of loss? Tyrell is not only facing his own choice, but also the necessity of protecting his current family. Whose side will he take when June and Martin, Smitty form two opposing worlds in his life? As the confrontation between Samantha and June grows increasingly tense, Martin and Smitty realize they cannot just stand by, they must intervene to protect their family. They understand that June is not someone who will easily give up. She has always lived in competition, always trying to break up relationships she considers hers. Martin and Smitty know they will have to face extreme actions from June. She will not hesitate to do whatever it takes to regain power in the family, and they cannot let that happen. Both men understand that this is not a battle between a mother and her children, but a responsibility to protect a family from outside attacks. June, with her hatred and determination, is ready to face not just her children, but also Martin and Smitty. She knows the only way to regain power is by pulling her children to her side, but she cannot easily defeat those who raised them. The question is whether June can stand her ground in this battle, or if she will face failure once again and accept losing the life she once had. Will this battle force June to leave everything behind, or will it just be the beginning of a longer, more relentless war, as she cannot let go of her past? Everything is becoming more complicated. Tyrell and Samantha, though not yet fully ready, will have to make a major decision in their lives. Will they forgive June, their birth mother who abandoned them, or will they reject her to preserve the happy family they've built with Martin and Smitty? The answer will shape their future, and also the price that June must pay for her past mistakes. With the current situation at its peak, a storm of tension begins to descend upon the Dupree family, especially as June continues her schemes to infiltrate the lives of Tyrell and Samantha. Not only does she face rejection from her children, but she must also confront strong resistance from those who have raised, protected, and loved them in her absence. On a stormy evening, when the sky is filled with thick dark clouds, June arrives directly at Martin and Smitty's house. She doesn't need to knock on the door, her mere presence is a clear challenge. Martin and Smitty, though mentally prepared for her return, cannot avoid the sense of fear that takes hold. Both know that once June has decided to come back, she will not easily give up, and she will do anything to reclaim the power she has lost. June doesn't come with softness or gentleness, she comes filled with hatred, bitterness, and determination. She not only wants to take back her children, but also wants to destroy everything that Martin and Smitty have built. In her eyes, one can see the pain and the burning resolve. She will not let others stand in the shadows of her life. And like a woman who has lost everything, she has nothing left to lose. Samantha and Tyrell, who have been slowly building a new life, never expected that June's return would be a firestorm. The tense encounters between them are not merely ordinary arguments, they are dangerous psychological battles that make each side feel as though they are standing on the thin line between life and death. Meanwhile, Martin and Smitty can no longer just watch June wreak havoc. Determined to protect the children they consider their own, they begin to make concrete plans to stop June's destruction. They know that every decision will determine the survival of their family. An unavoidable confrontation takes place in the dark of the Dupree house. Martin, who always maintains his resolve, and Smitty, who is full of determination, are ready to face June, not allowing her the chance to disrupt the peace they've worked so hard to create. But the worst danger has yet to come. As Tyrell begins to feel the inner conflict, he can no longer ignore the return of the mother who once abandoned him. Though he has found love and peace in his new family, the bond with his mother cannot be easily erased. Long nights of troubled thoughts lead Tyrell to decide to meet with June again. This is when all his emotions will be pushed to the limit, and a major decision will have to be made. Samantha, unable to bear June's existence in her life, decides that nothing can change. She stands before her mother and demands that she leave the city. But not with gentle words. Samantha is ready to use money to drive her mother away, a strategy she thinks is the best way to protect her family. But June is not someone who will easily give up. She responds calmly, but her eyes show clear signs of rising anger. She doesn't need money, she only needs submission. She will not leave easily, and she begins to plot to destroy Samantha and Tyrell's lives. Tyrell, standing between two worlds, doesn't know what to do. He wants to please both his birth mother and his new family, but it's clear that every decision he makes could lead to severe consequences. In a tense meeting, he decides to confront June, but he doesn't expect that this confrontation will thrust him into a life-or-death battle. June not only wants to regain her children's love but also seeks to control everything around her. Her threats and words are like sharp weapons piercing Tyrell's mind. He not only has to face his mother, but also confront the truth that a part of him still wants to reconnect with the mother who abandoned him. As everything seems to spiral out of control, Martin and Smitty realize they have no choice but to take more decisive action. They cannot let June continue to wreak havoc in their family, and they decide to take a tough measure to eliminate her from Tyrell and Samantha's lives once and for all. But they are faced with an extremely dangerous situation. June is not just a mother filled with pain, she is a woman with dark schemes. When she can't reach Tyrell and Samantha directly, she begins using more sophisticated tactics, creating crises to force them back to her. The tension within the Dupree family continues to rise. The merciless confrontations, the dark plots that are slowly revealed, and no one can predict the final outcome. June, with her heart filled with hatred and desperation, has gone too far. Martin and Smitty are also prepared to do whatever it takes to protect their family. Will Tyrell and Samantha hold firm, or will they be drawn into June's dangerous game? In the end, is June's return the beginning of an inescapable war, or will it mark the end of a long tragedy in their lives? When June returns, old wounds begin to reopen in Tyrell and Samantha's hearts, those who had to grow up without a mother, enduring the lack of love and protection throughout their childhood. June's return is not just an emotional reunion between mother and children, but a confrontation with painful pasts, memories that still linger in their minds. Can they forgive the mother who abandoned them for so long, or will these wounds forever separate them, creating a divide that cannot be healed? Tyrell has always dreamed of having a complete family, a mother like all the other children, someone who would love, care for, and protect him. But his memories of June are not sweet recollections, they are filled with her absence, the pain of watching other children with mothers by their side while he had to face all the challenges of life alone. June's abandonment of him and Samantha when they were little is a deep wound, a betrayal that cannot be easily erased. He had to grow up in loneliness, with foster parents who took the place that June left behind. When Tyrell faces June for the first time since her return, he clearly feels the conflict within him. A part of him still longs for a complete family, for a mother who would love him. But the other part of him only feels anger, the sense of being abandoned and betrayed. He cannot forget those years when his own mother abandoned him in his most difficult time. Will Tyrell open his heart and give June a chance to make amends for her past mistakes? Or will he continue to shut the door, rejecting any chance of reconciliation, because of the deep wounds she caused? Samantha, though stronger and always showing decisiveness in difficult situations, cannot escape the deep pain in her soul. Like Tyrell, she once yearned for her mother's love, for the feeling of being protected and cared for. But when June abandoned her, she learned to live alone, relying on Martin and Smitty, who gave her a warm home. She always wondered whether a mother's love truly existed or was just an illusion, something she had never received. When she faces June, the feelings of guilt and disappointment rise up within her. Can she forgive a mother who does not deserve her love? Can she overcome the dark memories and believe that she can start over with her? Samantha not only has to confront the pain of her mother's betrayal, but also a difficult choice: should she give her mother a chance to make up for her wrongs, or reject her forever to protect the peace she has found in her current family? She always feels the need to keep a safe distance from June because she cannot allow herself to be hurt again. However, her heart always yearns to be loved, to be protected, and she cannot stop longing for a complete life with her mother. As both Tyrell and Samantha begin to confront the truth about what June has done, they realize that forgiving her is not an easy task. The wounds from the past are too deep, their emotions too strong, and the old memories of June's absence cannot simply be erased by an apology. But is that reason enough to prevent them from reconnecting with her? Will the wounds of the past be large enough to divide them forever, or can time and maturity help them find a middle ground, where they can accept her back into their lives while knowing that the past cannot be changed? This question is not just a challenge for Tyrell and Samantha, but also a great lesson in forgiveness and acceptance. Will they learn how to forgive their mother and build a new relationship, or will they have to accept the truth that part of their past will always haunt them, making it impossible to reconnect with the mother who once abandoned them? With each passing moment, the choices Tyrell and Samantha make become more important than ever. The wounds of the past cannot disappear, but can they stop them from controlling their lives? Can forgiveness help them heal old wounds, or will it only add another layer of dust to cover memories that can never be forgotten? And most importantly, will they find a genuine connection with June, or will they have to live forever with the division she created?